I'm outside of Muhammad Ali's real original home. We're in Chicago, and I wanted to shout out Al's Botanics and Herbs. Man, when I tell you, I am one of those people that has insomnia. I can't sleep. I can't focus on some days because I'm so sleep deprived, and this has helped. This is one of the mixtures he has that helps with sleep.
Welcome to alsherbs.com, the oasis for your wellness journey. Our mission is to promote good health and reduce the risk of disease by providing a holistic approach to well-being. From the soothing scent of lavender to the invigorating kick of ginseng, we've got you covered with a wide array of herbs, supplements, and wellness products. Imagine the power of nature, harnessed and delivered right to your doorstep. That's the alsherbs.com promise, and it's a promise we're proud to keep. Shopping at alsherbs.com has truly transformed my life, says one of our satisfied customers. The quality of their products is unmatched, and I've never felt better. And she's not alone. Countless individuals have found a one-stop shop for all their wellness needs at alsherbs.com. It's made a world of difference in my life, another customer shares. And what's the secret to our success? It's simple. We believe in the power of holistic wellness, and we're committed to providing the best products to support your journey. Whether you're boosting your immune system, seeking natural remedies, or enhancing your fitness routine, we have everything you need. The path to a healthier, happier life is just a click away. Visit alsherbs.com today and experience the transformative power of nature. Take the first step towards a vibrant, fulfilling lifestyle. alsherbs.com, where your wellness journey begins. Improving lives, one herb at a time. Your wellness oasis awaits.
Come check out alsherbs.com, where we have all of your herbal needs and different variety of products, from sea moss to black seed oil, and a different variety of products for different health issues, because your health is your wealth. What's good? What's good? We about to talk some shit and play some chess, man. It's 2024. We're gonna leave the past in the past. We're gonna move forward. I pretty much I have a crown. This is pretty much what I've ascended to at this point. I want to see who copies me now. Okay. So yeah, we gonna play some chess. We're gonna talk about some current events, and we're gonna talk about some things. I pretty much, what I've been doing lately. I've been just kind of just relaxing, trying to make sure I get things done. I do a lot of different things, besides, my job. So pretty busy most of the time with my work, and also working on my house. And then I sell a lot of stuff on eBay. So yeah, I'm pretty busy, man. Most of the time, I don't even really get the time to come on here. I just grace you with my presence tonight. One of the things that I have to say, I don't really have that much on my mind. One of the first things I'll say is that if you kind of like, okay, if you like, let's just say, if you older and you're not really feeling TikTok, you really should try TikTok, because see, here's the thing, right? The thing with TikTok is just mind blowing. You could say the most basic shit, right? And it blows up on TikTok because people don't have your ideas and your thoughts. Okay, that's first off. They just, it's the most of the people on TikTok are the younger folks, like your okay, Zennials and Exennials. So a lot of people don't understand, right? Millennials, right? So you got millennials, you got two types of millennials because they're different, right? You got, of course, Gen X stops at 1980, but 81, 82, 83, 84, they're still very close to Gen Xers, right? As far as they done saw the same movies. They were a little bit younger, but they experienced the 80s, the early 80s to a certain extent. And then they got the same type of like, experience as far as being the first one to play Sega Genesis, and they share experiences with younger Gen Xers, right? So those types of millennials are called exennials. Then the younger millennials that are close to the Generation Z demographic, those are called zennials. Okay, so that explains it because those are two different types of people. A zennial, and an exennial born in like 81, 82, 83, 84, they're not the same, okay, at all. Okay, as far as like they're more older. I mean, they're more closer to Generation X. What's going on, my man? So, basically, yeah, a lot of TikTok is wide open because you older, man, like you experience things that younger people have not experienced. They have perspectives that are different. The younger people on there, they have a different perspective. So I mean, basically you say some basic things like I just did a video talking about women really don't have to work. And it was like less than 3 minutes. And it just people's mind just exploded. Just some basic shit about, yeah, women have the option anytime they want to be homemakers, but for whatever reason, they don't choose that. Not all women have that option, but a lot of women do know they have that option, but they don't choose it. And it's a lot of reasons why they don't choose it, but that just blew people's heads up. And then when somebody comment, right, you could make a reply video. So I'm learning TikTok, I'm definitely learning TikTok. And I already know, okay, you just say some basic ass shit. It's just gonna blow up because people, one, don't want to talk about divisive things as well. And then it's like your perspective, they're not gonna top your perspective because okay, first of all, my aunt is a homemaker. My aunt ain't never had to work no job to lay down no house. She never my aunt ain't never had to lay down and stress out over a 9 to 5. Like okay, so okay, and I mean she's drop dead gorgeous, and she knows how to treat her husband. I mean, she taking care of her husband now, but thing is, it's like I got a perspective because can't nobody really. I mean, I ain't gonna say can't nobody, but a lot of people don't have no aunt or their mama was a homemaker or nothing like that. Just that shit was even rare in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was rare. My grandma, she helped my grandfather with his liquor store and his other businesses and stuff. It's fine. My grandfather had a pharmacy in Chicago on the South Side in the 60s. I mean, he was literally like competing with Jews, So yeah, whatever that means, because you gotta be retarded to not know the origin of the Black Jews. Basically, I mean, what, like even before the internet, black people knew that they were the originators. It's like, oh, look at these Jews, man, that's pretending they got their little fairy pretend world or whatever. But needless to say, man, yeah, she helped him and stuff like that. She didn't have to work, but to work for my grandfather, help him out. And that's what you should do. I'll say this: if you are having problems trying to register women and trying to figure things out, if you look at it from a business perspective, it'll be better for you. Okay, when you at work, if you have a job, women act a certain way to keep that job, right? So outside of work, they act different because they feel as though or think that they can get away with it for whatever reason. They think that they can get away with it. They can be their true self outside of work, and then at work they can put on a front to keep that paycheck, and then they don't really like to do that. They really would like to just be, different or whatever. But the thing is that if you look at it from a business perspective of like you're a boss, okay, not on some like gang stuff. I mean, I know but if you look at yourself like you're a king or a boss, I don't even say king because y'all not ready for no king talk. I ain't even talking about that because y'all not ready for that. But you could think of yourself as a boss. If you think of yourself as a boss, you're halfway there. Because if you're letting a woman boss you around, I understand that. I get it. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that goes into some sadomasochist type stuff where you getting bent over and getting flogged and whipped and shit like that. That's all I'm gonna say with that, But yeah, TikTok is wide open, man. They need y'all. They need y'all older, millennials and older, Gen Xers or whatever, to just say basic shit that is just a beyond a social norm today, and it's a mind blowing thing. I mean, stuff to talk about, but it just is. Like I was driving to work today. It was really, really cold. And it was like, it wasn't really that cold, but it was snowing. It was a real bad snowstorm. And people were, going on the side of the roads, accidents and stuff like that. I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, I know it's a lot of women that work remote, but a lot of women really don't even have to work. I'm like, okay, I played the video and I got it on my channel of this white guy that's like a professor or something explaining it and all that. And I just said it basic as hell. And women don't really gotta work. Man, come on, man. You done seen some women that's fine as hell, and they don't gotta work. They know themselves they don't have to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's just they work because mostly they don't want to be told what to do. And then they say, okay, it's a guy that can tell me what to do. They get that guy. They ain't gonna want to listen to him. They're gonna be arguing with him, telling them what they think and all of that, talking back. And it was a time, if you did that to your man, if you was a queen and you did that to your king, you talk back to your king, man, heads was rolling. But that time, it's people got softened and people got more liberal and all that other shit. And it's like, obviously that's not how things are, but the thing is that, yeah, it was a time that it was well known that you don't run your mouth, you know what I'm saying, like that. And to be honest, here's the thing, right? On that note, All you gotta do is be like, hey, let's go. Okay, you think you can whoop my ass? You talking like you gonna whoop my ass, right? Well, let's go to a ring. You want to go to the ring and put on a boxing match? You think you can whoop my? You talking to me like you gonna whoop my ass? And it's like, you get deluded. You go into psychosis and crazy this and all of that shit. Which men, I'm gonna tell you this, right? It's a lot of time. Like a lot of time you get older, you understand what's going on. You know people's problems. You know what I'm saying? You get to a certain age, you might even be younger, and you know people's problems. Like you walk past, you like, oh, I know what their problem is. And I'm gonna tell you, I mean, a lot of women's problems is they don't have a man. They don't have a man that they really need. And the thing is that men are women's actual doctors. Like that's what we are. We are naturally doctors. We have what they need. We have their medicine. So that's why a lot of times women act crazy, and I know it. They act crazy because they ain't got their medicine. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like it's a lot to this shit that I don't even talk about. I really don't like talking about it because I feel guilty talking about it because you got niggas paying $5,000 for courses and shit, paying thousands of dollars for consultations and shit. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. I feel guilty about that shit, man. I don't really like to spill my wisdom, man, but I have, and I've done it plenty of times. But the thing is this is definitely a new year, and this year is going to be different than the last. I'm not going to be the same person I was last year. This year is totally different. And then another thing is, again, right? You got to be patient. If you want to actually, work on things and you got problems, you got to be patient. I was trying to do this like a year or two ago, like years ago. I just finally did it. I was thinking about all this other bullshit and what would they think and all this. Man, fuck it, man. These motherfuckers let me know by their actions, copying my material, copying what I say, copying this, copying it. I'm the fucking king. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what I realized already. I already knew that, but I was like, I might as well put my crown on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they treat me. So you know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to take from the king, right? So I just might as well just show it, show it out, because it is what it is, man. That's how I look at it. But at the end of the day, yeah, this is a new year. A lot of what y'all don't have the patience is like y'all seen my journey, y'all, and I ain't even started. I just got started. You gotta have patience. That's the main thing. One of the biggest videos that I did, and I unvaulted it. It was on my Patreon. It's about having patience and perseverance. One of the things, in order to get momentum, you gotta have patience to get that momentum. People are fucking. I'm gonna tell you right. Like a lot of times, people you thinking you looking at things right. Like in people in poor countries, like third world countries and shit, they know this. They know this very well because their grandfather was living in a fucking mud hut. Then he, got them into the favelas or some shit or some type of favela type, like squalor type living or whatever. Then the father moved out of that and moved into just a regular house, really a basic house, right? It's like that was 2 generations of momentum that they worked for. They got the gate in front of the house and all of that. It's like somewhere in India or whatever. They don't work 2 generations to get that momentum. A lot of us, we come from, families where even myself, I'm going off the momentum of my parents. Even what I learned is from my parents, from my aunts, my uncles, my family. just even things I researched as well. A lot of this, man, is patience of just dealing with things. And I just got started, man. I swear to God, I just got started. I ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing. I know I did a lot, and I went through hell, and I'm still going through it. But I ain't did nothing. I promise you, I ain't did nothing. I have not did nothing. Okay, I mean, it's still a whole bunch of haters, man. It's a whole bunch of haters. But haters die off, haters get sick. Haters, get sidetracked, haters go to prison, go to jail, get hit by cars, all of that shit. So it's like it's still a whole bunch of haters. Okay. Trust me, it's a whole bunch of haters. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that, and that's another thing, you gotta realize you're not dealing with your haters. You gotta call out your haters, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. If you don't call out your haters, you know what I'm saying, you just gonna be, suffering in silence. You gotta call out your haters, you know what I'm saying? You gotta call them out. Got to do it. It's standard. Gotta call out your haters, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that you gotta look at it like this. If you don't call out your haters, man, ain't nobody else gonna know what's going on. Gotta call out your haters. Got to call out your haters, man. That's standard. Got to do it. Got to call out your haters. Oh, and you gotta understand that, what I'm saying? Why your haters hate on you? You gotta understand why your haters hate on you. Why is there so much hate? Where does that hate come from? Because the thing is that a lot of times, you gotta realize, where you at, how people think, the mindsets of these types of people, and what they do. A lot of times, I was walking in my car today. I was coming from work. And I was like, these same motherfuckers, man, they come in the same way. Like when I was young, they used to used to be two people. Like, it'd be like another young dude and then his brother or his friend or something. And then if a motherfucker came up on me, I was like, man, you ain't enough. Like, where your homie at? I need two people, like, obviously, like, for it to be fair for you. Like, okay, so where's the other person? A lot of times this is what people do, right? Same thing like Diddy, that's what he did. A lot of these cats, Suge Knight, all of them, they operate in a pack. So you scared of him, but it's like you really not, your mind can't comprehend that you're not really scared of him. You scared of them big motherfuckers behind him, the other motherfuckers around him, and the other people he gonna send on you. That's what you scared of. But you don't think like, okay, this dude, he basically by himself, he's gonna act a certain way by himself versus with the other people around. And it's like, I'm used to that because when I was in school, when I was young, that's how a lot of my peers were. And it's like when you grow up, it's the same thing. These are the same people that couldn't fight. They and then they grew up and they got money and they paid people to be around them. And it's like, I work security and loss prevention and shit like that. So I understand security. Trust me. I mean, you need to have, people around you. That's good and all, but at the same time, you got to understand how people are, when they by themselves. It's also it's also very important. you know but yeah, let me open up let's see if I can open up a can of whoop ass, or if I get my ass whooped, hopefully I can have a successful day. But yeah, your momentum, again, your momentum is everything. It's a chance, your momentum might be for your children. You might be working, and then you gotta hand it off to your child because you've done as much as you could. Like somebody, I know people that they daddy worked in a warehouse or a manufacturing facility, and then they work for their son to be a nurse or a doctor or something like that. To pass the baton. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might not get there. You might have to pass the baton to your son, to your daughter. You got to keep that in mind too, so they can take that momentum, and then they can, keep going. This shit is very, very entrenched. Don't get me wrong. This is very, very entrenched. It's a mind game, definitely a mind game. And the mind game is for you to think that it is so difficult, which it is. Because let me show you the distribution of wealth in the United States. Again, most people are pretty much over to the left. And then you have the rich, the wealthy at the very, very top. So on top that they're off the actual scale of this photo, of this graph here. That is what you're dealing with. Those are the people that set policy, influence politicians, influence lawmaking, corporate decision making, policies, so on, etc. That is what you're dealing with. And it's a daunting thing to think about it, but I'm going to give you a secret, give you a free secret. 10 free 99. Your imagination is where you could succeed in that. That's where you could take things to the next level. That's why the dude with the tattoos and stuff that sell the board games made millions and millions of dollars. Your mind and your imagination is how you will overcome, and how you will overcome that mental map that you got, that's you hitting a wall and you thinking that you can't do it. You can't get to that level. You can't get anywhere above. Your imagination is where you will do that, where you overcome. Trying to work hard and trying to do this and do that. Okay, that's great. That's the hardest way to do it. But the most competitive way to do it is using your mind, using your imagination. That's where you can take off. And then once you get to that level where you are on something of on the level of a god, as far as your mind and your imagination, yes, people, the powers that be, they will come after you, and they will try to steal your ideas. They will try to um, tie you up in courts, all of this stuff. They will try everything they can, because you having that money, that power, that capital. Just know, many people before you, they didn't want them to have that capital. They will try to fight you and try to make it difficult for you, but it could be done. A lot of people have done it. You got to keep going, but where your imagination brings you, that's how you overcome. That's how you make it. where everybody laughing at you, where everybody not supporting you, where everybody, you know what I'm saying, not fucking with you really, you persevering, you having that supreme mindset is what's going to keep you going. What's going to basically at the end of the day, when you hop in that car that everybody really wants, or that everybody likes or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, you got it effortlessly, and you got the house that you know what I'm saying, that is the talk of the town and all of that, and having a good time, and you living a life. That's what you will get effortlessly, and you achieving those goals and accomplishing those goals. That's the ultimate F you to your haters. And then also having a peace of mind and being content with whatever you have, being grateful for whatever you have, because you went through hell to get that, whatever it is, you went through hell to get that. And having that supreme mindset of knowing your history, knowing your culture, knowing where your family came from, knowing where your ancestors came from, that also gives you that upper hand of the mind, mental, psychiatric fuck that they're going to give you to try to make you seem like you're less than. Okay. But you really most than. You're not less than, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have a problem with the elite. The elite really, to be honest, for the most part, when I've been around them, I work with them or whatever, I work for them, whatever. I don't have no problems with them because I don't. This is no cap. I think that I'm elite. I know. I mean, like, far as what I know, what my wisdom is, what my knowledge and understanding is, I know I'm elite. If the only thing that is different is zeros and commas in my bank account or whatever. So the thing is that I'm very, very knowledgeable of a lot of different things and understanding. So I don't really worry about that. Working hard, doing what I know I need to do, doing what I know works will get me those, commas that I desire or want. You know what I'm saying? And in the end of the day, you shouldn't desire it. You shouldn't desire, because a lot of times when you desire stuff, it works against you. You don't end up getting that, or it becomes hard because you desire it so much that you willing to do anything for it and all that type of shit. Like, it's some dude, like, I was watching the show. I think it might be Risky. I think that's what it's called, or some show like that, whatever. And the dude, like, basically he embarrassed himself and he embarrassed his wife. Like, he got his wife to join the show, and he was basically talking to her to tell her what to say on the show, so it makes her look like she's really smart and intelligent. And people totally found out what was going on, and then she had an OnlyFans link or whatever that was posted on her link to her Instagram, and it's like, that got exploited. Like, that's what people do on here. They will exploit your ass. Like, if they find anything about you, especially if you coming off like you holier than thou, or you're so righteous and whatever, if they find anything, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I say, man, I am not no holier than thou motherfucker. I've never approached myself as such. Now, I do have some high morality, very much high morality, but at the end of the day, shit. I mean, my number one product that I sell is Sex God. Okay. um, you know, I don't have any indignations as far as, like, I did a live stream and I talked about how the English are versus the French, how they look at sex and stuff like that. And we follow their culture, their prudish culture and nature of, oh no, we don't talk about sex. No, no, we don't. We just talk about that in private. We don't talk about that in public, but we do get the freak nasty in private. Like, that's how they are. The French are more expressive. They're more Italians as well. Like, I mean, I don't I don't really like the English model. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't like this whole I'm a freak ass motherfucker behind closed doors, but out in public don't even talk to me. How dare you talk to me? Like, I just don't. That shit's so weird to me. And I deal with this shit, and I thank God I got my passport. And yeah, like, it shit just irks me because I'm like, bitch, I know you. You was a hood rat in high school. Why are you acting like you all uppity and everything? You used to let dudes run trains on you on the block. Why are you acting like this? Don't you know I know what you I mean, like, come on. So I mean, like, I get it, I understand, but at the end of the day, if you come off like you don't have no dirt, you go and get exploited. It just is what it is. I'm be honest with you. Like, I mean, I'm on Twitter. I may or may not have, want to whip my dick out. I mean, you know, you know what I'm saying. I like showing my dick sometimes. Like, I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about joining OnlyFans at one time, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it, nah. But the thing is that I would be on OnlyFans. I'll probably have a mask on or whatever. But but the thing is that I wouldn't come off like I'm holier than thou and all of that shit. Cause it's like, nah, I'm not that type of dude. Like, if you are, you better motherfucking be on that. If you on that, like, righteous stuff, indignation type shit, you better not have nothing to hide. Because if people find that your dirty laundry, and then you make it just so noticeable, it's like, damn, a link, a motherfucker gonna see a link. Obviously, they definitely gonna see that. So I don't know, man. Definitely people are not smart. Being smart, people are very intellectually lazy nowadays. And I've noticed that over the years. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. People do what they do. So, like, we playing an Italian. Speaking of Italy, I hear a lot of people complaining about racism in Italy when they travel and whatnot. So, um, yeah, I guess people don't understand about Europe, um, and they don't understand history. Or a lot, most of it is women complaining. I'll have to say most of the complaints are from women that travel. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that um, lot of stuff is going on in Italy as well. Okay, they got quite a few things going on, um, to say the least. Got quite a few issues going on over there. But a lot of people, yeah, like a lot of people just, yeah, you might have the money to travel and shit, but you don't know history. Like, I mean, knowing history is like very essential. Like if you don't know history, you can like if you planning on traveling, knowing history is like, I mean, it is extremely effective if you understand. And the people of the culture, like they'll respect you more the fact that you know their history. You know what I'm saying? Like they be like, oh damn. Like they'll really value the fact that you really understand their history. You're not just some dumb fuck that's trying to travel to get mileage, travel miles. You know the history of the country and stuff like that. But again, I mean, people don't like to read. People don't like to read, so they just whatever. So I had some bad losses or whatever previously, and definitely a lot was going on. So I'm pretty confident that I'll probably win this one. And then yeah, you know how to play chess. I mean, you got you got shit. You know what I'm saying? You know how to play chess, my man. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know how to play chess. That'll help. You traveling what? You traveling. You a chess minded person. You're a chess minded black guy. If you think that chess doesn't put you on elite status, if you know how to actually play chess, you're a strategist, you're a thinker. If you think that don't got nothing to do with you being an elite male, elite guy, that the fact that you know how to play chess and you're pretty good at it, if you think that don't play a role in it, I got a ham sandwich to sell you with gold flakes in it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times I have to humble myself. Like, you know, it's harder than this. I know it might be easy in my mind, but definitely harder than this. And I gotta humble myself to a certain extent, I gotta definitely humble myself, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be solo, and it's all right to think, understand that you're the man or whatever, but you gotta understand, man. That's when people try to test you and shit. Like, look at this motherfucker. He think he the man and all that. He think this motherfucker. He, that's what the ice grills come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be on some hating shit. You just be humble, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in the CVS, and it was a young dude. You know, if you want to really, make a young dude feel good, man. Hey, you say, hey, excuse me, boss. You tell him, you say, boss, man, and next thing you know, man, the man is gone. His eye, his self-esteem is just gonna light up because nobody really says that. You the first person that said that probably in months. And it's like, his disposition is gonna change. He's gonna immediately respond in a respectful way. And you know what I'm saying? It just, it lightens the actual confrontation or whatever. And it's like all you had to do was say that, man. You just gave the little boy, the young man, a attaboy, you know what I'm saying? And then one day, like myself, because I definitely was, older men called me a boss. Then I was a boss at one day. In the future, I actually was a boss. Okay, so yeah, that's how you do that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do that there. You do that right there. Yeah, so the thing is that the difference between me and basically last year and this year is I had an epiphany like New Year's Eve, and that epiphany was basically it's a secret. It's a secret. Cause I got a lot of high level haters. I got a lot of haters in high places. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, 2024, that yappity yap yap, yeah, I'm a definitely be more quiet, you know what I'm saying, this year. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna be more quiet and reserved. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just pop out, and then you'll see me after I pop out, and then you'll know, okay, that's what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to tell nothing about no fucking moves before I fucking already have done it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much. So let's see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We got Paisan. Let's see where else where we gonna land. Okay, Canada, Canada. If you don't know what Canada is, that's bacteria. uh, Canada is it's like America pretty much. It's like America with some flair. And more woods, more trees, and the women are pretty much very similar to American women. Um, they just got a little bit more spice to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. That's a lot to unpack there. See what my man trying to do. See what he's trying to do there. Yeah, I mean, you definitely need a nice winter coat. You know, a lot of Canadians use firewood, because that's pretty much, Canada is very cold in Canada, very cold in Canada. So what I did that was I just didn't worry about that whatchamacall or whatever. Um just didn't worry about it, you know. And then, whoa, just like that. Now I got a house in Canada, just like that. You know, I could have took that whatchamacall, but I didn't do it because I would have stats wise, I would have been up had I done that. Definitely would have been up. So what I'll do is I'll keep taking, and then I'll keep taking. And, and now we got a situation. He's got a problem where he don't really have that many rooks, and I want to take this bishop from him because I want to take it. I don't want him to have that. All right. So this is where the end game becomes a situation where, and then he's let me move this pawn up because we don't want a situation where it's Zook Swan. So we're gonna move up. And yeah, we're gonna keep that going there. Keep moving. And then we're gonna trade off because you're not gonna punk me when I got more pieces than you. Man, being homeless in Canada, it's got to be the worst place to be homeless. I mean, it's just bone. You absolutely have no idea how cold it is in Canada. Even in Chicago, it is cold as fuck in Chicago. Like that's why the violence is so treacherous. And the same thing in New York. It is very treacherous because crime is just crazy cold, very very cold. I mean, extremely cold. I mean, I'm talking extremely cold, man. So he gave up. Okay. He gave up. Yeah, I mean it's cold as fuck in Canada, man. Like shit. Yeah, like Chicago, man. Some of the most violent, treacherous crimes is in the wintertime. People be scratching to try to pay that gas bill, to pay for a place to live. You know, the baby mama getting kicked out. You know what I'm saying? They gotta go rob somebody. You know, it's like literally the blues, man. It's crazy. And it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, man, you know, if you don't understand that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? What can you do? You know, you don't know what's going on, and you new to Chicago, and you just think because you live on the north side is sweet. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the things that I notice about the young dudes now, they know who got the money, and they not scared of who got the money. The boomers in even the Gen Xers, they were brazen too, but these zennials and younger millennials, they give zero fucks. They don't care like about, okay, all right, I go do this to the white folks, they gonna give me more time. But they know, I mean, that's where the money is. A lot of times I'm just calling it what it is, man. The black folks, they didn't go rob the white folks like that because they knew they would give them more time and slam the book on them, so they would leave them alone. But they know where the money is, so that's where they going. They're going to the north side. I'm gonna open up a map. I'm gonna open up a Chicago map, because I gotta again set the record straight of, when you watch the news, you need to know like where Chicago is, where because a lot of people don't understand. Like, they look at Chicago as this one big monolith, and that's not the case. Chicago has different neighborhoods, right? And these neighborhoods basically make up Chicago. And you definitely know that Chicago is pretty much like New York. You have rich parts, you have poor parts, and in between, of course. And the thing is that, not all of the South Side, not all of the West Side is fucked up. And definitely the North Side is like, more similar to New York. So, I don't know, like Chicago, when you watch the news, you'll think, okay, you don't know what the good parts of Chicago is, or the bad parts, or whatever. You don't have no clue. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I know where it's going down, and where it's, what I'm saying, what's going on and stuff, you know. And let me find a good map of the Chicago neighborhoods so I can explain it to you. And then, you won't, when you watch the news, you'll know, okay, I know where it's going down at and where it's not and all of that. And you'll absolutely know. kind of how to break that down. Okay, so let me try to let me just let me just take a screenshot of this real quick so I can just kind of break this down. Save this here. Chicago. Cause it's some parts of Chicago that is not as bad as like a lot of the news stories. I'll show you. I'll show you the good, the bad, the ugly. And yeah, because Chicago has a transit system that runs around the clock. Yeah, it could go down because people can travel to different parts of the city, at any given time. But this is let me break this down to you. Like let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me open up this picture here. Let me zoom this in so we can talk about this here. Good, the bad, the ugly. We're gonna start with the ugly first. Let's just say good and bad. Fuck that. I mean, the ugly is obviously. I mean, it's bad is ugly. Okay. So let's zoom this in some more. Let's zoom this in. All right. Zoom this in. All right. That's even more. Okay. All right. So the bad. Okay. So let's start with the south side. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so they even cut off the bad parts. White folks, boy, is crazy. So they cut off the bad parts. So okay, they cut off Chatham. They cut off Chatham and Auburn Gresham, and yeah, like they they cut that shit. They said we ain't about to represent this shit. That is so racist. They cut off Auburn Gresham, Chatham. Okay, they got Washington Park there. Okay, Washington Park. That's where Obama Library is. Let's zoom in on that. This is where Obama Library is about to be. It's right next to Hyde Park. Now this is near O Block. Washington Park is near O. That's where O Block is. The Oblockians. Now the GDs and the BDs at war with each other. But they got the Obama Library going on. It's right near the Museum of Science and Industry. It's right off of Lakeshore Drive right here. So this part is going through severe gentrification, extreme levels of gentrification right here. I'm zooming this in. This is where O Block is right here. Okay, this is Bronzeville. This is pretty much Fuller Park. This is where I used to live right here. This was called the low end in the 80s. This is this is where your boy Boyce Watkins lives right here. It's $1 million graystones. It's expensive real estate. It's near Hyde Park. Hyde Park is where Obama lives. Louis Farrakhan. A lot of black elites live in Hyde Park. The black folks that can't afford to live in Hyde Park, they live in Bronzeville, in Kenwood. Kenwood is near Hyde Park. Okay, this over here, that's that's basically near like 43rd and stuff like that. It's pretty much already been gentrified. This is like lakefront property. Um, then you got this area here. This is like prime real estate. This is where like Illinois Institute of Technology is. That's Illinois' version of MIT. Um, it's where basically it connects to the South Loop, and the Loop is downtown Chicago. This is downtown Chicago. The Loop got the South Loop and Loop, okay, that connects to the North Side, okay. And then all of this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So, okay, most of the white people in Chicago, they live in the South. They live in Bridgeport. It's a lot of Asians that live in Bridgeport, like Chinese, Koreans. Then they also live in McKinley Park. And then over here, this is the back of the yards. This is dangerous. this is where Inglewood is. Okay, this is one of the most roughest parts of the southwest side of Chicago is what it's called. This is where Inglewoods is. It's called the back of the yards because it's a lot of railroad yards that go through there. Okay, a lot of trains that go through there. Okay. And then you got Brighton Park and Gage Park. This is dangerous over here too. It's very dangerous. Brighton Park, Gage Park. A lot of blacks and Mexicans war with each other from over here, from Inglewood all the way over here. Same thing over here as well, West Eldon, whatever the fuck that is, and Archer Heights. Okay, I'm not like, okay, when I talk about Chicago, I'm from a perspective of somebody that moved to the suburbs. I am not a Chicagoan, like, in the sense of I grew up in Chicago. I've been in Chicago my whole life and all that. Now I'm from the fucking suburbs. So a lot of even these little areas, a lot of these this is the first time I really even looked into this. Like I've never heard of West Eldon. Okay. So some of this stuff is kind of like, it's even strange to me to a certain extent. And then when you go to Pilsen and University Village, this is near the west side. This is the west side of Chicago. Okay. All of this shit here, this is heroin selling, cartel funding, warring, ganging, pimping, hoeing capital of Chicago. But I'm going to say this. Some of the best women in Chicago, like Cameron said, I'm on the west side of Chicago looking for a bust down. Like, because Cameron lived in Chicago for like a year or two. Like, the west side got some of the best women because they don't like, like the south side chicks, they like kind of bougie. The west side chicks, they bougie, some of them, but they kind of more, let's just say, they'll kind of ride out with you. They'll kick it with you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you pick them up, you getting them out of harm's way, literally. Because these dudes on the west side of Chicago are different than the south side of Chicago. It's two different sides of the city. These guys are wild. They're more wilder, in my opinion, than the south side of Chicago. If I had to pick a fight, I would want to fight somebody from the south side of Chicago. I wouldn't want to fight nobody in the west side of Chicago. I'll fight, but if I had to choose between a west side dude and a south side dude, I'll choose a south side dude. I'll probably have a better fighting chance. These dudes, you ever saw the movie West Side Story where they had gangs and shit that rode in packs? That's what these dudes, man. Like, the west side of Chicago, to me, is untamed. Like it's like I seen how the police even get down in the west side of Chicago. They come out with AR-15s, in like basically automatic rifles when it like really go down because they have a hard time with these dudes. They don't really have no control over the west side. But here's the problem though. You got capitalism. You got the center of capitalism right here in the loop, and they need they need to stretch westward. So all of these dudes, it really don't matter. Capitalism always wins. So basically, the housing prices basically go up, the taxes go up, and then they have to move out. So Humboldt Park is literally so you have a lot of West Side. You have gangs that literally started in Chicago. One of them was the Latin Kings, and they were started in Humboldt Park. And then you also got the Four Corner Hustlers, and also the Vice Lords was started on the West Side of Chicago. And that's just to show how like a lot of people don't know this, but it's just a testament to how rough the West Side of Chicago is. Story of the West Side of Chicago, those were the last people that migrated from the South. Like they didn't really have that much money. They migrated from the South and moved to the West Side of Chicago like more recent than people from the South Side. So they got a lot of roots from the South and a lot of ways and culture from the South. And yeah, it's just wild. They deal with a lot of Hispanics. Again, a lot of drug distribution. Okay, they get it from the mob. White folks. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff go down over here. So you talking about West Garfield Park, Humboldt Park, West Humboldt Park, East Garfield Park, Lawndale, Little Village. That's where the Mexicans live. Pilsen as well. University of Illinois Chicago is right in here. The United Center Park. That's where the Bulls play. But they're pushing west. So a lot of these, again, the plan is they about to kick these cats out because they need to expand the loop west. Okay. So the taxes is going up. The housing prices is already going up. So these guys gonna get kicked out. They're gonna have to go to like the suburbs like Maywood, Oak Park. Even those prices are going up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it could, here's the thing. This is wild because they let it become wild. This is controlled chaos. So they just let these guys just do whatever they want to. That's why it's certain places when you see it's like chaos and it's uncontrolled, you need to save every nickel and penny to move the fuck out of there, because as a person that was in the military, I can promise you that chaos can be controlled. So when you live in an area in America where it's chaos and it's uncontrolled, that's your cue to move out of there. Okay, because that's not how that's supposed to work. It's something else that's going on, and you don't have any control over it. You need to move. That's all I can say. Fortunately, my mother and father did that long time ago. But you got basically the loop going north. You got River North, Near North, Old Town. Basically, all of these are yuppie white people and also other white people with children and families mixed with Hispanics. Also is multicultural. So this is the north side. It's like kind of like New York. You got a mix of, it's like the United Nations. You got everybody there. You know, my folks from my dad's side, the Ghanaians, Nigerians, Ethiopians, everybody lives up north. Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Colombians, Ecuadorians, Nicaraguans, Guatemalans, everybody pretty much lives up north because that's where the money is. Then you got Lakeview, more of the same, Roscoe Village, all of this, Uptown, Ravenswood, expensive real estate, a mix of more. Is once you get further up here, it's like the suburbs. Okay, it's like the suburbs, literally, and it's still Chicago. Also, yeah, it's pretty much like the suburbs. You know, they don't have all of Chicago on here. They don't have they don't have Beverly and they don't have Beverly on here, and they don't have Morgan Park on here. Okay, so you know this is like kind of cut off. But yeah, basically all of this up north is basically just you know it's an extension of the loop. I mean, pretty much, and it's quiet. It's not. The white folks that live up north are still, they're not scared of black people. They're not scared of Hispanics. They're not scared of nobody. Like they still from Chicago. They, they're not scared like that. Like you think like, no, they pretty much, these are the, if you got to understand history. These are the family of the mob. The Italians, it was out south, and they worked with the blacks, and they was at war with the northern Irish. The Irish lived up north, and back in the Al Capone days and whatnot, they used to war with each other. The Jews and the Irish used to war with the Italians. Out south. You know what I'm saying? That's why that Cubs rivalry, the White Sox and the Cubs, is pretty a big deal because that's that old North Side and South Side beefs type stuff. But it's some good movies. It's a good movie like that really explains that. It's a couple of them, but I'm gonna give you a good movie to watch to kind of give you the history. Tom Hanks is in that movie. Let me pull that. I'm terrible with movie titles. Like some stuff is like I'm terrible with it. But I've seen this movie like at least a couple times. It's a very good movie. It's a long movie. It's an old gangster movie that basically goes over the Chicago mobsters in the early 1900s in Chicago. When I know it when I see it. Let's see. When did that movie come out? I don't think it was this one. I think it was before this one. No, it wasn't that one. Let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, this it's called The Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition. So let me pull that one up. Let's see here. So I ain't see it. I didn't see it on his IMDb or whatever. Let me pull this up real quick. Show you this movie. You probably already saw it. If you're a movie buff, you already saw this movie. You already seen it. You already seen this movie. It's called The Road to Perdition. Yep. So that's a movie about the Chicago mob in the early 1900s. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we had a good time, but it wasn't going to ever be a long time. And basically, so we meet again. Have a good time, have a good weekend, have a good night.
Ask 50, I hope you didn't mind if I ask you if we can kick it. I need stimulation intellectually, sapiosexually. I feel electricity when you're next to me. You got that fine-tuned energy, divine masculinity. And yes, I desire for you to enter me. Though you's a physical entity, the spiritual chemistry connects us on the level of infinity. Cause what I'm singing is a godlike figure, dark chocolate and color, the same one they call nigga now. You got me feeling like yes, you a king to me, you a king.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.